Draft is in the books. Week 1 is rapidly approaching. I'm here for our draft recap, something I put a lot of time and scientific process into. This year, we're going to get 2 grades. First grades are going to be from ourselves, the anonymous League GM survey. So we're going to start with that. And secondly, the grades that matter are from our AI overlords, ChatGPT, deep thinking model. What did it really think? But first, what did we think of ourselves? So let's start there. Okay, here we go. Coming in at number 12, the team that drafted number 12, the Bay State Breakers, you're getting a D- because you're 12. So that's where Jeff lands. At 11, dropping 6 spots from the 5 spot is Javi, grabbing a D from our League GMs in the anonymous League GM survey. Coming in at number 10, the Golden Pipes, pulling a D+, dropping all the way from the 2 slot. I suppose there's reasons for that. He was already tweeting out this morning about how he needed help and was looking for trade partners. So not utterly surprising, but still a big drop from 2. Next up, C-, Drew, dropping 3 spots from his number 6 draft slot down to the number 9 spot. We have in the 8 slot with a C, we've got Zaz and the Turkeys improving their position, I guess, a little bit. Dinsky with a C+ at 7. Yim with a B- at 6. Geenan with a B at 5. And our top 4, I led the top 4, B+ for my draft grade. Thank you very much. I will take it. And then the top 3. So no big surprises here. Cuccinello at A-, Eric with an A, and Hart with an A+. I loved Hart's draft. Eric always tends to draft well, and Hart does as well. So that was our anonymous GM survey. Let's get to the one that matters. The ChatGPT deep thinking review of our draft. We're going to start at the bottom as we did before. Here we go. Coming in at number 12, Drew, D-. ChatGPT had this to say: Lamar and Tyreek is nuclear, but everything else is volatile. Running backs are mostly rookies, role fragile, and wide receiver 2 and 3 rely on Rice, Coleman, Burden, all uncertain. Not a stabilized position on the tight end, massive weekly spikes. The big if on this one, if one of the young running backs becomes a weekly 18-touch guy and Rice avoids turbulence, more of a middle team. I mean, so Drew can't love that. I had Tyreek last year, and I would wholeheartedly disagree that he is quote-unquote nuclear. The Miami offense was a fucking joke last year. I love the Genty pick. I love the Jackson pick. The 3 through 6-8 is where I kind of go, I don't know. James Cook, I don't know. Tyreek Hill, I don't know. Rice, upside swing, but in the 5th round, that's rich for my blood. Warren, I know he's a hype guy, but I mean, to be tight end 4 after Bowers, McBride, and Kittle feels rich again to me. These are just my thoughts, and I love Caleb in the 12th. That's who I was going to draft before I fucked up in the 10th. So overall, I like Drew's draft. I do agree that it is risky, and it's a very Drew draft. I like it. Drew, let's move on. Hart with a D. So this is what's really interesting. So ChatGPT gave Hart a D. We gave Hart an A+. What is going on? So Saquon and Taylor and McBride, ChatGPT loves. GPT says wide receiver 3 is the issue. Mims or dart throws is what it says. Purdy and Baker serviceable, not a separator. And so it's basically saying if Mims or Higgins can hit and break out, that Hart will do a lot of climbing. Okay, cool, AI. I think we all think Hart had a really strong draft. I think kind of the bigger X factors here, Golden, what is he going to do? I think that's an interesting pick. Javonte Williams in Dallas, is that offense going to support him? Is he cooked? Is he healthy? What's going to happen with Braylon Allen? I think these are the questions that I would be asking, but I think this draft was damn near flawless, especially drafting near the middle. Kudos to you, Hart. A D feels harsh from ChatGPT, but that's what you get, my man. Moving on, Cuccinello. Dave, another one that this was an A- from us and a D+. ChatGPT is a bitch, man. All right, so high floor, Bijan, Kyren, Connor, K, JSN, Dak at value, Njoku steady. Wide receiver 3 is Judy Reed, and the overall ceiling lags wide receiver heavy rooms, especially in a league that starts 3 wide receivers and a flex. If JSN or Reed can make the leap, immediate top 6 threat. Man, this is another really good draft. I was talking about it on the video during the draft, and I was saying, man, Connor, Metcalf, Judy. I mean, even Njoku, I don't love taking a tight end that early if I'm not getting an elite one, but I think this is a great draft, much better than a D+. So moving on, here we go. Next up, Pete Estella grabs a C-. ChatGPT calls this the best QB room. I wholeheartedly disagree. Mahomes and Stroud. Okay, I don't know if they're great fantasy-wise. Sturdy RB volume. Okay, that's odd saying Monty, Mixon, and Najee. Najee is hurt. Mixon is hurt. Monty is a timeshare. I think at best, that doesn't say sturdy RB volume to AI. Definitely was off in this one. And it says you have to start 3 of McLaurin, Pickens, Shaheed, and Bateman every week. And rookie tight end Bowers adds variance. Again, Bowers is a great pick. 3rd round, I think that's about where he's going. I don't think he adds variance. I think he adds stability. And then it says wins the QB war, loses some weeks at wide receiver depth. The big if Bowers hits early, this is a title favorite. So I feel like Bowers is hitting and should hit. He's one of the more, I feel like, sure bets. So this is a C- with a big asterisk next to it in my mind. I wouldn't count Pete out by any stretch. Next up, the West Adams Wolfpack pull a C. I was pleased with my draft, I will say. The one thing that I ran out of time in the 10th round, ended up getting auto-drafted Parsons, which is where I was going to take Caleb Williams, which made me take Stafford late. So outside of that fucking debacle, I was happy with, I think I've got some veteran presence. I've got some young kings on the team. This says Adams, Higgins, and Ridley, and a Pearsall flex with keeper Laporta and Hurts is weekly leverage. The anchor issue is RB2. Chase Brown was a reach. The big if I get a stable 15 touch back, this is instantly a playoff roster, or if Chase Brown hits. So this comes down to Chase Brown and AI not liking each other. I like Chase Brown, man. I'm bullish on him. I don't know how you guys feel about him, if you're drafting him elsewhere or what you think, but let me know. I think he's going to have a huge year in a huge offense with a terrible defense. Next up, C+. Zazie and the Turkeys. It says Amon-Ra, Puka, and Devonta and Jameson plus Andrews, keeper A-Chain gives weekly juice, but RB2, Pierce or Blue, is thin. If Pierce reclaims 2022 usage or Blue earns a role, this could be a top 5 team. I don't disagree. I think that's a pretty obvious criticism. Yeah, you don't have a great RB2. Caleb Johnson, Blue, and Pierce, outside of Achane, who's already hurt now, and I mean, he's not CMC, but he's not CMC. The Turkeys are going to need to make some moves to fortify the running back room. I think that's a fair criticism. I think that it might be a little harsh in terms of a C+. We gave him a C, so maybe it's not. Maybe it is a mid-draft for the Turkeys. Time will tell. Next up, B-, Geenan and the Chicago Beanbags. So we've got Jacobs, Walker, Etienne, Sharbs, Dobbins, Roshan, and Kittle. Neighbors, Sutton, Ibuka, Diggs. It says are good, not elite for a 3 wide receiver league, which caps the weekly pass game punch versus the top 5. If Neighbors, this is the big if on this one, if Neighbors is immediately top 12, this challenges for number 1. That's kind of crazy. Kenneth Walker, to me, is a bit more of a concern. Setting aside AI's comments, I love Walker. The dude can't stay healthy either. I love Kittle this year. Sutton is solid. Ibuka is someone I was targeting. I like this draft. I think my biggest criticism is probably Kyler Murray and a rookie behind him. The QB room feels dicey. I'm still fucking sour grapes about having Kyler last year and his little munchkin ass sucking. I like this draft. I think B- is fair. B for Jeff and Bay State. We gave Jeff a D- in our anonymous league GM grade. He pulls a B from AI. It says wide receiver depth is ridiculous. Running backs are deep. Ingram, solid. The anchor, QB1. The anchor meaning the problem. QB1 is Bryce Young in the 16th round. Yeah, so I guess that's sort of the thing. A 0 QB build from Bay State and Jeff going deep into the analytics here. What AI says to do, the big if, secure a mid-tier QB through trade or waivers, and this moves the team into the A tier. So a B for Jeff. Hunter felt insane at 112 straight up, but grabbing Henry and Henderson and Harvey, those are three awesome running backs in my opinion. Flowers, Olave, and Myers, also great picks. I mean, come on, Irving as a 12th round keeper. That should immediately put you into contention. Personally, probably would have gone double tap the wide receiver or grab an elite quarterback at that turn, you know, to each his own. So Jeff pulls a B from the world of AI, and we're into the top 4, just like that. So B+, Javi and the South LA boys, Josh Allen and a terrifying wide receiver room, AJ Brown, McConkey, Adunze, and an injured Addison, along with Pitts in the 10th round. You get that king who will disappoint you. RB2, Judkins, yeah, he's not signed. AI is calling it a rookie swing. I think that's a little bit more than a swing when you're drafting a guy that doesn't have a contract and the season starts in about a week. But it says you can flex a wide receiver and keep scoring pressure high. Title equity if Pitts / your wide receiver's youth smash. The big if, add a stable RB2 or a veteran QB2, and this could finish top 3. So, yeah, of course, there's a big if there. Judkins in the 5th, wild. Like, wild. But, hey man, get your guys. Do your thing. Don't let me tell you how to run a draft. I'm just here to talk about it. I just think it's wild. Personally, I think it's wild. Addison in the 7th, kind of wild. I didn't know he was going to go that early. Scatabo in the 8th, kind of wild. Pitts in the 10th, kind of wild. The anonymous GMs dropped a D on this one. Look, D is a D, whatever. Like, everyone's got to get a grade. I do think this is like the riskiest draft out of the bunch for the reasons I just explained. But AI and Javi, you know, seems to be seeing something different, a B+. So we'll see on that one. Excited to see how Javi opens the season against my boys on the field. Looking forward to seeing you out there, old boy. And then Eric coming in with an A- and a top 3 draft. Once again, he was number 2 in our draft last year with an A. This year pulls an A-. AI says you're built perfectly for the 3 wide receiver setup with Jefferson, BTJ, and MHJ, Marvin Harrison Jr., along with Debo, with Kamara, with Swift, Aaron Jones, Eckler as veteran quarterbacks, Trevor Lawrence in the 14th. Oh my God. Highway robbery, AI called that one. And you've got Nix. You've got Bo Nix and T-Law. I think T-Law is going to have a huge rebound year. I think that's going to be a great pick. I think Bo Nix should be good. The big if one vet RB holds RB1 usage all year, this is the team to beat. Eric and I were talking through the draft. Wish you guys would have been in there. Missed a lot of you. I love this draft. I think it's one of my favorites. You didn't even get into Shakir and to Jennings, the Hawkinson keeper. I don't know what to make of Swift in Ben Johnson's system. I don't know what Debo's going to be. I don't know what Eckler's going to be. But there's enough here where you know this team is going to be he's going to be tough. Next up, Studio City with an A, pulls a straight A. Quiet draft. Dinsky just laying back in the cut, probably at an open house, eating pretzels, drafting on his phone, doing some crazy shit. Shout out to Dinsky, helped get our house here. He's the man. Anyway, CD, Waddle, Cup, Downs, 4 strong wide receivers, Hampton, Pollard, Spears, Mason. This is a really good team. Burrow in the 4th. AI has what else to say here. The only reason you're not number one is you don't have an RB sledgehammer. If Hampton or Spears pops, this lineup becomes unfair. Okay. All right. So let's see. Hampton, that's a tough one. The Chargers have like a shadow of their offensive line left already. So I think that popping is maybe a little bit of a long shot. And then Spears in the 13th, I mean, he was garbage last year. So I feel like that one is going to be tough. I love the Burrow pick. I think Waddle pick is nice. Who knows what Cup could be. I feel like it's a nice draft. I feel like it's more towards a B for me or a low B, but I like this draft and I think it's solid. Finally, we are at the best draft according to AI, and that is my better half. So Young, congrats, A+. AI loves the fact that you got CMC along with depth. Says you have the deepest wide receiver room. That's even more so than Jeff, who just took mad wide receivers and waited to take Bryce Young. It says you can start 3 to 4 premium wide receivers, flex a stud, and still roll out CMC. Goff and Fields is good enough. Now shut the fuck up, AI. I will not stand for this fucking slander. I'm so tired. I'm so fucking tired of people fucking doing this Goff thing. He's fine. He's just okay. And I suppose we should include Jared Goff. Go fuck yourself. Goff has been fucking elite. He's been so fucking good, and I'm so fucking tired of hearing it. He's awesome. I don't give a fuck. So this AI bullshit, Goff and Fields is quote unquote good enough when everything else is elite. Justin Fields fucking sucks, okay? He's fucking terrible. Wilson is insane. He's so good. I just don't think Fields is gonna do anything this year. Mark my words, that's my take on that. And that's my little fucking soapbox about my boy, Goff. AI also says highest weekly floor and highest weekly ceiling. The big if, already elite, only reason it's not number one is slightly less tight end youth and slightly less health certainty. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. CMC can't stay healthy. No shit. Thank you, AI. It's coming for us all. So that's the draft recap. Have a great fucking night. Looking forward to week 1. Javi, I'm coming for that ass. I'm coming for all y'all. Trying to get my first ship. Welcome to the league, Pete. I'll talk to you guys later. All right.